What's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. I want to take a look at a middleweight champion by the name of Freddie Steele. Now, Freddie Steele was born on December 18th, 1912 in Tacoma, Washington. He was a middleweight who weighed 158 pounds and stood 5 foot 10 and a half inches. Now, during the course of his career, he would walk around and weigh and fight at 127 to 161 pounds. He began his professional debut in 1930. On July 11th, 1936, he would win the NBA middleweight championship away from Eddie Babe Briscoe. On July 28th, 1938, he would lose the NBA middleweight championship to Al Hastak. He would fight fighters such as Seferino Garcia. Seferino Garcia would become middleweight champion in 1940 when he defeated Ken Overland. He would fight Henry Armstrong several times at welterweight. He would face Ralph Chong, Leonard Bennett, light heavyweight champion Gus Lesnievich. At the time, Gus Lesnievich was the middleweight contender. He would face William Gorilla Jones, middleweight champion. Vince Dundee, welterweight champion. Baby Joe Gans, Solly Krieger. Solly Krieger would become middleweight champion. Paul Barone. And Al Hastecker. Al Hastecker would take the title away from Freddie Steele. As I said, July 28th, 1938. So let's take a look at Freddie Steele's boxing career. But I just want to note that Freddie Steele would be entered into the World Boxing Hall of Fame in 1989 and entered into the Boxing International Hall of Fame in 1999. So let's take a look at Freddie Steele's fighting career. Now, Freddie Steele was born December 18th, 1912 in Tacoma, Washington. He was Irish American and weighed 158 pounds. He stood 5 foot 10 and a half inches and was managed by Dave Miller. 1930 was the year he began his professional debut against fighters such as Jimmy Farrar. He would knock him out in 3 rounds. Nelson Ferguson. He would knock him out in 2 rounds. Jack Nash, knock him out in 2 rounds. Mickey Trade, he would defeat him. Nelson Ferguson, defeat him in 6 rounds. Joey Kaufman, he would defeat him in 6 rounds. 1931, Joe Townsend, knock him out in 2 rounds. Al Garcia, knock him out in 3 rounds. I'm just skimming through here. Tony Portoli, he would defeat him in 8 rounds. 1932, March 16th, Lee Page, Seattle, Washington. He would defeat him in 6 rounds. April 7th, Bobby Steele, Tacoma, Washington, defeat him in 6 rounds. April 27th, Tony Portolio, Seattle, Washington. He would defeat him in 6 rounds. May 18th, Seferino Garcia, Seattle, Washington. He would knock him out in 2 rounds. As I said, Seferino Garcia would become middleweight champion of the world in 1940 when he defeated Ken Overland. May 23rd, Frankie Stenson, Portland, Oregon. He would defeat him in 6 rounds. Ralph Chong, July 20th, 1932, Seattle, Washington. He would knock him out in 6 rounds. August 3rd, Lee Page. He would defeat him in 6 rounds. August 11th, Alfonso Gonzalez, Washington, Tacoma, Washington. Defeat him in 6 rounds. September 20th, Seferino Garcia, Los Angeles, California. We knock him out in 2 rounds. November 17th, Balling Dozer, good fighter, Tacoma, Washington. We would defeat him in 6 rounds. I just put that book away that Balling Dozer was in yesterday. I would show him to you, but I would have to dig a couple of books for me to do that. 1933, January 17th, Leonard Bennett, Seattle, Washington. He defeated him in 6 rounds. Gilbert Attell, Tacoma, Washington. Knock him out in 3 rounds on May 18th, 1933. June 27th, he would face Eddie Rain, Seattle, Washington. Defeat him in 6 rounds. June 22nd, Joe Click. I don't want to skip Joe Click. Defeat him in 8 rounds. Petey Mike, October 12th, Tacoma, Washington. He would defeat him in 10 rounds. 1934, February 15th, Leonard Bennett, Tacoma, Washington. Defeat him in 8 rounds. May 22nd, he would face William Gorilla Jones, Seattle, Washington, and he would get a 10-round draw. Babe Morin, San Francisco, California, defeat him in 10 rounds. Babe Marion was a very good fighter also. Bucky Lawless, Seattle, Washington, knock him out in 2 rounds. Joe Click would knock him out in 1 round. Jimmy Evans, Seattle, Washington, knock him out in 4 rounds. That's November 13th, 1934. 1935, January 10th, Tommy Rios, Tacoma, Washington. He would defeat him in 10 rounds. February 21st, Jimmy Rivers, Tacoma, Washington, knock him out in 9 rounds. April 1st, Fred Apostoli. He would become middleweight champion as well. Seattle, Washington, he would knock him out in 10 rounds. Fascinating. July 30th, Vince Dundee. He would be welterweight champion of the world. Seattle, Washington, knock him out in 3 rounds. September 17th. So July 30th, he fought Vince Dundee, and September 17th, he fought William Gorilla Jones in Seattle, Washington, and defeated him in 10 rounds. Excuse the focus. 1936, he would have 2 knockouts, 3 straight victories, before he would face Eddie Babe Briscoe in Seattle, Washington on July 11th, and win in 15 rounds, and he would win the NBA Middleweight Championship of the world. So Freddie Steele would become champion on July 11th, 1936, with a victory over Eddie Babe Briscoe. He would have a few more fights, including November 17th, Gus Lesnievich, Los Angeles, and he would knock him out in 2 rounds. Now, Gus Lesnievich was middleweight then, but he would become light heavyweight champion of the world. He would get that victory over Anton Christofoli. Joey Maxim would defeat Freddie Mills. Freddie Mills would defeat Gus Lesnievich. 1937, January 1st, William Gorilla Jones, Milwaukee, would defeat him in 10 rounds. February 19th, Baby Risco, New York City, defeat him in 15 rounds. March 2nd, Paul Baroni, very good fighter, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He would knock him out in 1 round. May 14th, Frankie Battaglia, Seattle, Washington, knock him out in 3 rounds. August 7th, Chalky Wright, Albert Chalky Wright. He was a featherweight champion. He defeated him, Seattle, Washington. That was a 3-round exhibition. As you can see here, September 11th, he would face Ken Overland, who was also a middleweight champion, like I said. He lost his title to Sefrino Garcia in 1940. This is in Seattle, Washington. He was knocked out in 4 rounds. 1938, January 7th, Fred Apostoli, who was also a middleweight champion in New York City. He was knocked out by Fred Apostoli in 9 rounds. Bob Turner, February 8th, Rochester, New York. He knocked out Bob Turner in the 1st round. And July 26th, he would face Al Hastad, Seattle, Washington. He would be knocked out in the 1st round and lose his NBA Middleweight Championship of the world. I want to step back. June 14th, he would face Sully Krieger, who was also middleweight champion. He defeated Billy Conn as well. Seattle, Washington, he would defeat him in 10 rounds. So very good resume for Freddie Steele. As I said, Freddie Steele was known for body attack. He was a fascinating body puncher. He was issued in the Ring magazine in January. And that was an accomplishment by Freddie Steele. Now, once again, we have the luxury of looking at the Greatest Fighters of All Time series. One of the most colorful gladiators to ever come from the Northwest. Steele did not get the full credit that he was deserving while he was active from 1930 to 1940. Between Freddie and his late manager, Dave Miller, there was an odd devotion, which was difficult to fathom. Okay. Steele won a middleweight title from Eddie Babe Briscoe on July 11, 1936. and repeated the triumph at Madison Square Garden the following year. He scored knockouts over Gus Lesnovich, Freddie Apostoli, Paul Baroni, Frank Batali. He was a very good fighter as well. Ken Overland, who was a former middleweight champion. Well, not at the time, but he would become middleweight champion in 1940. And many other strong middleweights. Like I told you, Freddie Steele was a fascinating body puncher. So salute to Freddie Steele. I am entering him in my Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series because of his work, all the champions that he faced. He was in 2 Hall of Fames. And like I said, great fighters are never forgotten on my channel. Salute to my subscribers. Salute to Freddie Steele. Scrapbook Boxing. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Peace.